Welcome to the ParentLife Podcast. My name is Jason Stanland, and I'm the middle school pastor here at Fruit Cove Baptist Church. This is a weekly resource for parents who are trying to raise Christian children. So September is going to be highlight month. Over the past year, we've had various different guests and people coming in to help us with our episodes. And so what I've asked our production team to do is to go back, find some of the best episodes that I've selected, and what I want to do is kind of string them together for you guys for the month of September. Starting off is going to be how to talk to my children about homosexuality with Pastor Tim. This was actually a two-part series that we did in a couple of weeks separated from each other. So now this is going to be both of them back to back. This way you kind of get the full content in about a week's format. So this aired a while back. It was one of our first top 10 episodes. It's been one of the most popular, most commented, responded to episodes, and so really wanted to bring this back to you. And essentially, Tim approaches it with, if my child comes home and they have a friend who is gender curious or something of that nature, how should my child then respond to that other child? So this is going to be part one. Hope you guys enjoy the episode, and again, it's one of our favorite episodes, so let's jump right in. Let me go ahead and set it up. On a regular basis, I get parents that bring this question to me, this kind of scenario. Okay. They come to me and they say, so my child came home from school the other day and told me that his or her friend is now gay, lesbian, trans, gender curious, something like that. Mm-hmm. And then the parent kind of looks back and says, what do I do now? And the challenge really is the balance of, okay, so as Christians, we don't hate those people. We don't, wish animosity on them. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we do also believe that the Bible clearly states something counter to their lifestyle choice. So, Tim, how would you respond to that parent? Because I know a lot of parents would actually love to hear that.
Yeah, of course, I do not have a middle schooler in my life right now. I will in about, 9 years or so.
Yeah.
So I guess at that time I'm sure I'll be pulled into these discussions. But so I get to be a little bit more just academic at this point. It's not so much a personal interaction for me. But let me tell you what I think I would do as a parent who would have this question come. This is one of those issues that we used to be able to kind of stick our head in the sand and not deal with it. It was just something that was happening out there to other people in fringe situations. And honestly, to be fair to the kids today, these were issues that used to not confront us until we hit university campuses, or we'd find ourselves in our late teens, early 20s, our brains would be more developed. These were easier to process then. Now, these are huge. These are just mega questions that middle schoolers are being forced to wrestle with. It's a question of, are we preparing our kids to be able to confront these kind of questions? Well, you're not preparing them if you never talk about it.
Right.
So the first thing that I would say is, as hard as it would be to do this, is that you need to thank God. I have an opportunity right now to teach my child.
Amen.
You have a teachable moment. They're listening. Now, if you just kind of on a random Tuesday night after dinner say, guys, sit down for a minute, we're going to talk about homosexuality, they're not going to go with you.
Nope.
It's going to be totally, it's not their deal. What do you think, I'm homosexual? Why are we talking about this? But what you now have handed to you on a silver platter, served up to you on a silver platter, is an opportunity where your child's mind is open. They're looking at you going, tell me what to do with this. How do I relate to this situation? And again, the thing that I would really encourage you as a parent to do would be to not answer questions that they're not asking. Okay? So let them tell you, what do you want to know?
Answer what they're prepared to hear.
Yes.
Right?
Instead of giving, don't come at this from your vantage point and you don't set the narrative here. Let them set it. Let them tell you what they're asking you.
That's right.
I mean, are they asking you everything from, is this wrong? If this happened to my friend, could it happen to me? There's all kinds of things going on in their head. You don't know what your child is asking you until you let them tell you.
Right.
So don't jump at the first question. And a lot of parents are going to freak out when this happens, and they're going to just, you're going to shut the moment down. Don't do that. You have a golden opportunity. You've got to get this into your child's heart somehow.
Yeah.
And this is your moment to be able to do that, to say, okay, now here we are. We're sitting here. This is real life. This is not, we're not setting up a straw man here. This is really happening. My child has to go back to school tomorrow and interact with this person.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do to prepare them to do this? So,
and that's really good advice, because in my experience with working with students, a lot of times the first question is not the actual question.
Exactly right. The question is never the question.
They're generally working towards another question.
Yes.
If we cut them off early, we may never actually get to it.
Yeah.
So that's important.
And I think as you walk into the discussion, I mean, part of this, and then I don't want to. There's so many tentacles to this, so I don't know, where exactly to which one to chase right now. But I think it's really fundamentally important, and we've talked about this in other sessions. You have got to make sure that if your child has not been totally steeped in a Christian worldview, that you go back now. This is time to review that.
Yes.
God made us.
Yep.
God made us. God made men, and women, women, and any other derivation of that is outside of the created order that God put in place. Now, you have to start there. Now, the fact that your child believes that doesn't mean their friend's going to believe that. But the reality is, you want to know, I've got my son, my daughter at a place on their foundation where they know that there's something wrong here. And they do, because they're coming to you going, help me understand this. They know something's wrong. They don't necessarily know why it's wrong or what's wrong exactly about it, but they know, okay, something's off here. Let's talk about how God created us. This goes back into, you get into the psychology of how we understand self today. And the way we understand self is morphing. It used to be, yourself is a kind of a fixed commodity. God gives you that, you're this person. You're your composition of your thoughts and your experiences, and gender is a fixed piece of you. Now it's fluid. Now we've changed our understanding of selfhood in our culture. And your child is a product of it. Your child is living in that culture where they're being told that it's okay, you can pick your own self. If you don't like the self you are, you can make yourself another self.
Right, yeah.
And part of that is the gender conversation is, well, I'm going to I'm going to become this sex or that, a different gender than I am. And really the questions that your child will come to you with on this topic are not always about sex. It's really odd. I know this is hard because, again, coming my generation, those who just in the next 10 or so years after me, our focus would be on, hey, this is a sex problem. It's not a sex problem.
No.
This is an identity problem.
It's an identity issue, yeah.
And this is the thing that you have to get to is, and understanding that there are kids today who, and when I was growing up in my world, in school, if you were a homosexual person, if you came out as a homosexual person or you were caught in some kind of a homosexual situation, you were immediately pushed to the margin. You were immediately ostracized. You were immediately mocked. You were immediately made fun of. And it was a horrible place to be. But today, it's totally different.
It's reversed.
Today, you become part of a protected class.
Oh, yeah.
If
You're
you
championed.
say, well, I'm gay. Okay, well, now all of a sudden, you have a protection offered you that was, you want to stop bullying?
Yeah.
Tell somebody you're gay. And all of a sudden, now if they bully you, they're creating it's a hate crime.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not just I'm bullying. No, you are persecuting a minority party here. So you got to understand how that's changed the landscape on this question. This is not about. In fact, I would dare say, if you could get that kid that came to your child and said, "Hey, I'm homosexual," now sit down with them and say, "Okay, you're a guy. Have you ever kissed a boy?"
And let it run. Just let them talk. Yeah.
And they're going to no. Have you ever held hands with a boy? Well, no, not really. No. And then you could press that on as far as you want to press it. But the reality is, what you're going to find out is they're going to go, no, we've never done it.
Yeah, it's not about an
But
action.
we want to be identified with this
identity.
group. Sometimes it is a matter of they're compassionate. Well, I'm going to stand with them and help them, fight their cause or whatever. But just understand, it's not always about they are finding themselves sexually drawn to this particular situation. It's not really about that. Transgenderism is not about that.
No.
Transgenderism is almost a way to escape sex. In fact, it's an odd world. And again, if we walk at this from our perspective, we're going to walk into the wrong closets here on this. And you want to let your child define, this is the question I'm asking. Can I be a friend with this person? The answer should be yes. In fact, the answer should be, why don't you invite your friend over and let's have dinner? You'd do that?
Yeah.
Oh, you talk about scoring some points, Mom and Dad. You would let them come to your house? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, honey, understand, that doesn't mean I think it's right. I don't think this is a right thing. The Bible's very clear. It says that, the homosexual relationships are condemned by God. It's very clear. So we're not saying they're right. We're not saying this is the right thing to do. But the right thing to do is to love this person. And I would strongly, any parent that's really wrestling with this, you need to read something by Rosario Butterfield. Listen to her videos or buy one of the books that she's written. But one of the things that she emphasizes, because as a lady who came out of a gay lifestyle, she said, the first thing that I noticed immediately when I came out of this lifestyle into church is I no longer had community. In the gay life, I had community. I had friends. I was over at people's houses all, and we were always together. We were hanging out, having a good time. When I left that, I left all that behind, and now I'm alone. Okay, so what if you offer community to this person? And what difference would that make? And who knows what kind of lifestyle they may be coming out of, and who knows how you could help. Now, if your child is really waffling here, I don't know if I would push that too much, but at the same time, this is also an opportunity for you to show the gospel to your child, and certainly to this child that they know. So I think
that's oh wow, what a great idea! That when not only do you invite this friend over to your home, but you engage them with the gospel. How cool would it be for your child to watch you, even join you in sharing the gospel with this person?
Model for them how to have this conversation.
Exactly, and it's really important. I want to just emphasize this, and we'll be done. That we want to keep acceptance and approval separated for our kids. As Christians, we kind of do that. The rest of the culture is kind of not doing that right now. But to let them know that we love them, we care for them, we want to have a relationship, we want to build community with them, but that does not mean that we approve of what they're doing. And that's really important for our kids to understand. So again, thank you for joining us today. If you have any more questions about our ministry or our church, you can find us at fruitcove.com. If you'd like to engage us here on the Parent Life Podcast, you can reach us at parentlife@fruitcove.com. Email us, and we would love to talk with you or engage with you something on one of the topics even. Thank you again so much for joining us, and we will see you next week.